Now, going over to the cultural, or rather the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy roasting Kamala Harris because she is somehow in charge of AI, and it gets 1 million views in 2 hours. Or as you might say, it went extremely viral on X Twitter. Now, this is specifically from Vivek Ramaswamy's personal X Twitter account, and he specifically said, quote, Kamala is in charge of AI policy right now. In a debate, I'd challenge her to see if she could spell AI. I bet the same blank stare I'd get from Nikki when I asked her to name 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine, unquote. Again, after a couple days later, specifically, I wrote down, so first 2 hours, and then 24 hours, I looked again, it got 4.4 million views and 78,000 likes, which is astronomically successful. And I suspect we're going to see, politically speaking, Vivek's going to stay in politics, and he's already helping Trump in terms of he officially endorsed him. You see him speaking with Trump on campaign rallies. Now that people don't see him as a competitor to Trump, I think a lot of Trump fans are going to embrace and support Vivek because, again, not only was he overwhelmingly kind to Trump in the primaries, he didn't say anything too negative about Trump, but not only that, he's actually consistently giving him compliments, and now he's actually helping him to get the Republican nominee. So now instead of the people who like Trump but they saw Vivek as a threat, now more than ever they're going to see him as an asset. So I think if anything, the like ratio from Vivek's tweets and social media posts, you're going to see that just increase exponentially. And then when it comes to AI, the idea that Kamala Harris is in charge of that is the most hilarious thing I've heard all year. Like, granted, it's only a couple weeks into the new year, but just watch one interview with her, and you can't help but notice she is perhaps one of the most mentally vacuous people in history who, truth be told, slept her way to the top if you just look at her history. It's astonishing how it's almost beyond words trying to comprehend how far she's gotten in life for how little results she's achieved. Again, she was also in charge of the border. Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things where, fascinatingly enough, and in terms of political observance, it's always awesome, fascinating to look at Facebook groups of all sides of the political aisle. There are people who legitimately like Biden. There are people who like Trump. You just go to the Facebook groups. There are millions, actually hundreds, well, some depending on how you count the votes or count, there are many millions of people who like both those guys. I've never met a single person who likes or supports Kamala Harris. Again, let me know in the comments, have you ever met anyone? It's a fascinating thing where maybe, just like Nikki Haley, I've met people who like Biden, who like Obama, who like Trump, like Bush. I've never met a single person who's even said anything or given accolades or said anything nice about Kamala Harris. I've met people who legitimately like Hillary Clinton. And for the record, I should say, I appreciate my life and would never end it prematurely. Just put that out there. But for Kamala Harris, I can't fathom what has she done. But, excuse me. But nevertheless, let's go to the comments and see, am I alone in this assessment? Or are there some overwhelming majority of people who agree with me? Let's dive in. The first response comes from Charlie Kirk, and he says, quote, she'd show you a Venn diagram with AI, diversity, and trans, and then she'd explain why overlapping section will save democracy. She learned it while riding a yellow school bus, unquote. That got 1.8 thousand likes, which, again, Kamala Harris is a mental phenomenon, like, so bizarre. She talks about Venn diagrams a lot. She proclaims that she loves Venn diagrams, which I've never met anyone like that. Have you? Like, who's passionate about Venn diagrams? And she said that multiple times, and she had that awkward. She's like, she makes Peter Griffin look articulate in terms of her speeches that she allegedly prepares for. It's the most awkward way of forming sentences I've ever heard. And that's coming from me. And if you are first time tuning in, spoiler, I have many speaking ineptitudes. I usually will speak too fast. I'll sometimes mumble my words. I will trip over them sometimes. I'll just not pronounce something properly, or I'll repeat a word. But even I, in comparison, she makes me look like a phenomenal public speaker. And again, I'm not a doctor, but if you click the subscribe button, it may having a Kamala moment here, maybe. It may very well assist with my speaking ineptitudes. If you watch the first couple episodes, a lot of mess ups, especially when it comes to my speaking ability or lack thereof. But the more subscribers we've gained, the better I've been able to speak. And I don't think that's a coincidence. So if you click that button right now, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, going back to the comments and my attempt at speaking. Going down here. ZNO says, quote, would be amazing to watch. And he has the picture of Vivek holding up the little notepad. Instead of saying Nikki Haley equals evil, he's photoshopped to say spell AI. And that got 917 likes. Let's see here. There's a lot. So here's, let's see, a little video of Vivek. Looks like he, turn off that loud sound real quick. It looks like he's speaking and hugging Donald Trump at a rally. And the crowd is yelling VP, VP. And Trump says, quote, he'll be working with us for a long time. They get 780 likes. Let's see here. Robbie Starbuck says, quote, AI are 2 letters of the alphabet. I know the alphabet. And then she'd proceed to say her ABCs but mess them up, unquote. They got 238 likes. Pastor Sean Coyne says, quote, oh, please let there be a Vivek Harris debate, please, unquote, getting 535 likes. Joey Maniario says, quote, Kamala Harris has the IQ of a squid, unquote, getting 481 likes. Which, incidentally enough, that'd be fascinating to see. What, I don't know, are squids clever? They have brains. I don't want to say he failed that pun or that observation, but if you're looking at sea creatures, perhaps a more apt metaphor would be a jellyfish, because they don't have brains. But nevertheless, Joe Zipula, he chimed in and says, quote, Kamala Harris shouldn't be in charge of a toaster, let alone AI or the border. She's a low IQ diversity hire. Kamala is the epitome of why it's a bad idea to choose identity over ability, unquote. That got 366 likes and is a reference to Biden when he was first announcing his attempt to run for president, or his presidential campaign a couple years ago. He specifically said he was going to choose a VP based on race and gender. So instead of saying he's going to pick the most qualified person, he specifically said, he announced, I will be choosing a black woman. Now, a lot of people debate that as well in terms of Kamala Harris her family's, I believe, from Jamaica and India, but debates aside, one of the reasons people also critique Kamala Harris is because of Joe Biden's statement in that regard. And also, I mean, just the lack of achievements throughout her life, but nevertheless. Ashley St. Clair chimed in saying, quote, and Joe Biden will interject, quote, I got 2 words for you, made in America, unquote, getting 935 likes. Maybe I'll attempt that. I'll attempt that voice. Made in America, man. Made in America. Yeah. Perhaps the worst impression you've heard all week, but nevertheless, hopefully at least it made you smile. Hopefully. Let's see here. Do 1 or 2 more. Let's see. Malcolm Flex says, quote, dear God, this is a violation of open-handed, unquote, getting 244 likes. Three-year Letterman says, quote, AI stands for alternative intelligence, and I guarantee you she could guess all day and never get it right or understand it since I own multiple Echo Dots, unquote. I got 236 likes. She also has her signature cackle, which most people would probably say for worse in terms of marketing. Let's see. Go Vivek Go said, quote, this alone would make Vivek as a VP pick worth it, unquote, getting 98 likes. So it looks like, again, I'm trying to find if any contrarian statements, and I so far haven't. Which usually, who is he? I should have his name memorized by now. He's in pretty much every political tweet. He loses me at the moment, but it's Luke Z. His last name starts with a Z, but he's much more politically in the left, and usually he's chiming in. Interestingly enough, I don't see them here. And again, maybe that's because Vivek officially stopped his campaign, so maybe that's why there's less contrarian statements these days. But I mean, an overwhelming majority of the responses are either lambasting Kamala Harris for ineptitudes or giving accolades to Vivek, saying that he should be the VP. So it'll be interesting to see, again, does Vivek keep up his momentum? Because he's staying, as the youth might say, extremely viral. And what's his end goal, or what do you think? What do you think is his end goal? Is it to get that VP position? Is it to get a cabinet position? I mean, his whole campaign, he said he didn't want second place, and Trump and Vivek both have very dominant personalities. They're both, I think, they both are very much the leadership mindset. So, again, it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day where does he land, politically speaking. But let me know. I'll be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment, a thumbs up or thumbs down appropriately will give me some additional feedback on how I can make the show better and better. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.